Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Good morning, Rooted Men. I'm glad you could join me this morning. Man, it was hard getting up this morning. It was so early. I had to park last night, and it was very busy, very crazy. But it was a good turnout. We had a lot of kids. They had a big band there, which was really kind of cool. They've never seen that before. Full orchestra. They had a big stand-up bass. They had trumpets and they had saxophones. It was outstanding. It was very good, and not the music I grew up with, obviously, but it was still fun to hang out there last night and make balloons after balloon after balloon after balloon after balloon. All right, so who do we have with us this morning? Let's see who we got. We got Chuck B's here. Good morning. Shalom, gentlemen. And Bert Reggiani, good morning, gentlemen. Ken Gooch says, good morning, brothers in arms. And Steve Ponowierski, good morning. And Steve showed up last night at the park and found himself with balloons in his hands. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know. He may have been second guessing that decision to walk up and see if it needed any help, but it was very nice. Never discount how much help you can be. It can be intimidating to see all those kids standing there, and he handled it like a champ, and I appreciate that very much. It was really nice to have some company. With that, today's scripture is from Psalm 67. It's super short. It's a pretty cool little psalm. So let's pull that up. Tom was giving me pointers yesterday to see if I can do this right. But I think I chose Shift 7 is an option. I don't know. You guys can say something in comments. If you're watching on your phone, if these are even readable. And that's, I guess, if you're on your home, a TV or something like that, I think pretty much all of them will work. But that's the question I have. Are we watching on phones or are we watching on TVs? Phones, I sometimes struggle to read the text because it's got the smaller screen. And I have a pretty big screen on my phone. So anyway, let me know as we do this, and we'll see what we got going. Oh, that's so weird. I've never seen that before. There's a little bar on in the studio that tells you the volume levels and if it's going up and down. And for me, it was kind of weird because I don't think I've ever seen that before. They update the software quite frequently, so it's every day it's an experience when you're on it. And it's like, oh boy, what am I doing now? Anyway, I'm gonna turn on the comments so they show up on the screen. So if you're watching on your phone, just comment phone or TV or computer, whatever. Just and if the text is big enough, I think that's what I really want to know. You'll make your face to shine upon us is the title of this Psalm 67. Where have we heard that for? But we've heard that before somewhere. Oh yeah, the Aaronic blessing that Tom does every single Sunday. Without a doubt, it is one of my favorite little twists. It's making your face to shine upon us. Kind of gives you a feeling like he's watching. All right, so let's get started. It's to the choir master with stringed instruments. Wow. A song. May God be gracious to us and bless us to make his face shine upon us, that your way be known on earth, your saving power among all nations. Let the people praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you. For you, peoples in God nations upon earth. Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let the peoples praise you. The earth has yielded its increase. God, our God, shall bless. God shall bless us. Let all the ends of the earth fear him. All right, I messed up. What did I do wrong? Okay. It says, oh, well, what do you do, right? So what we have here is it's a prayer, heartfelt prayer to God, right? But it's a prayer for blessing. But it's not just a prayer for personal blessing. This is the key to this phrase. If you look at it, he's praying that it helps people see God. It helps more people see God. It's almost an evangelistic prayer, but it's more of you're blessing me so I can bless others. And God's blessings that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be not for us, but to be shared. Or better yet, they're meant to be reflected in who we are and how we live our daily lives. It could be a call to mission work. And I thought that would be a good thing to look at. Have you ever done a mission trip? Try, you get some fellowship from working side by side. You know someone that's benefiting from your work. and you spend time in prayer, in worship, and it's part of a mission trip. I remember a trip we had to Joplin, Missouri years ago. I volunteered with 2 organizations on that trip. It was run by somebody else, and the church, one guy in the church put it together. But one of the groups was UMCOR, who is a Methodist charity, and they had a local church, a local Methodist church there that right in Joplin, and they turned it into a headquarters for assistance. They had evening worship and prayer every single night. They had a clothes closet and personal needs for people. They had like a fellowship hall. It was just filled with donated clothing and toothbrushes and toothpaste and shampoo and you name it, diapers. There was so much stuff. And then they also took all their Sunday school rooms and created bunkhouses. So there was like 6 bunks in a Sunday school room. And then some of the bigger rooms had more. But it was they turned this into like a regular headquarters for doing good. And then we also volunteered with Samaritan's Purse for a couple days. And Samaritan Purse had a huge Baptist church down there, and they'd basically taken over. And they were running training and safety classes, and the volunteer groups was probably 100 people we were working with in one house. Any tool you could think of. They had bobcats, they had shovels and rakes and pruning shears, and you name it. They had it all. And at the end, they did something that was really cool. They passed a Bible around, and they had each volunteer that was there sign the Bible. And at the end of the cleanup, we handed it out to the owner in a little, stop and get to know you thing. And it was really, really cool experience. Both of them. Not every charity works the same way. And I know Samaritan's Purse is so big and so involved in disaster relief that they have a lot of things you have to do to make sure there's no liability. And it's just like anything else. When it gets big, the rules and the legal aspect take over a little bit. And the other place was more free spirited. It was a smaller group, but they just stuck us at a house with 5 people and said, pick it up, and clean it up. Basically, we had to move a pile of rubble to the side of the road so FEMA could take it. So each of us had a different experience, though. After it was all done, we all sat and talked to each other, and we were all pooped. I mean, it was tough, hard work. It was 11, 12 hours out in the hot sun, and it was hot down there. And but none of us wanted to quit. We had a couple of 80-year-old people come with us, and after a couple of days out in the sun, they realized that they weren't going to be able to keep it up, and they moved into the kitchen and started making dinners and meals. It was hot and dirty, and yet everyone's memory of that was amazing. It's like this part of God that He blesses us in our soul, that when we do things like that, we forget the pain and we forget the struggle and the fatigue. And it just becomes this warm feeling in your heart, which is really cool. People blessed by God, blessing others. That's all to the glory of God. No personal gain, no awards, just blessings. And I thought to myself yesterday as I was doing this, and it's comical because we think of these grand mission trips, right? We think of going out into the public and helping 200 people build a house, or going to the Czech Republic and spending. It doesn't matter, any place I'm talking about. That's what we think of a mission trip. But to me, going to Meyer could be a mission trip for somebody. You could do good to reflect your gratitude in Jesus, or reflect Jesus to these people by simply grocery shopping, by going to work, being around your fellow workers, Tom talks about it all the time, how people he worked with changed. They saw the change in him. They saw he was different. And it could be you too. I mean, it's not, I can remember things at work that people would they would stop talking, or, but not the kind where they're whispering about you, just because they know that it would trouble them. They would trouble you, which is a sign of respect in some cases. There's so many different ways we can be Jesus in the community and take these little mini mission trips anytime we leave the house. And that is what I have for you today, guys. This is a psalm that glorifies God. It prays to God. And it's for blessings, but blessings that can help the kingdom. I pray it was a blessing to you. I had a good time. Okay, wait, let me check this out now. Chuck says he's on the phone. I could see it a little bit. When I did it this now, you could see it a little bit. I was afraid the one that we did yesterday was too small. Ken's on his phone as well. So, yeah, okay. I think I wish there was a way we could make. I don't necessarily want my picture can go away as far as I'm concerned. So, but I just saw that, and I was just curious because I tried watching it on my phone yesterday morning, and it was really small, and the font, and that's why I always shrink mine down and make the whole page the text. But okay, thank you. I appreciate the input. All right, guys, I'm done. I'm talking way too long. Have a firmly rooted day, gentlemen, and may someone on your mission trip see Jesus in you today. Peace.